Why do you think the Twilight movies have been so popular with teens and young adults?
I'm going to ask that question because I've got a really good answer that I've just come up with today. I think it's because vampires were so inaccessible before to young kids and to teenagers and anything up to like the age of 18. I never cared about vampires. It was never brought to me. I think the first film was, and it was a real shock when it happened, but Dusk Till Dawn was a really great film up until the point where they went into the back and vampires started popping out, and then it became the world's weirdest film, and I loved it. I think it was very fun. But it's still that generic kind of vampire with fangs, and he's scary, and he's not good to look at, and he's grotesque. What Stephanie's done is she's brought the aesthetic down to a level which we can all appreciate, at a very real level, and done away with the fangs, given the eyes. And the eyes are very, the first point of contact between two people, and they're very, eyes are very important to how someone looks and their aesthetic. So she's concentrated on that and made these characters very, very real, especially the colours. Unfortunately, Volturi were a little bit more primal and a little less accessible. So.
Why do you think? How does the audience relate to the movie or the storyline?
Well, I think with any movie, everyone relates to each storyline. They're in their own way, and that's what makes them enjoy the movie. I think, But I mean, you've got this great book series that has a great love story, and a lot of people really like to fall into that sort of world of just this everlasting love. So I think that might be one way, but again, I think a lot of people just kind of will bring what they want out of the film, because personality-wise, you're going to pick a little piece out that you really identify with, and you're going to pull that out of the film.
What do you think is the most interesting thing about your character?
Right now, I think the most interesting thing about my character is how enigmatic he is. You never get to see what Demetri can do really until Breaking Dawn, and then it's still fairly unknown about what he can do. I mean, especially being an actor and acting as this character on set, you really have to put a lid on these powers you have, because things could get messy if I let loose. I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't even know what I'm capable of yet. Until they say, okay, this is your power, you can go to fly and track at the same time. It's really exciting for me, and I've taken it up to the point of, as far as I can take it with Demetri, without just running riot and letting it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the great thing is he's very in touch with his primal, aggressive side, and in everyday life we don't really go that place. We suppress that, and it's cool to just take that and just bring it up, and just really enjoy that place.
So what were the sets like in Italy?
I mean, they were impressive. I mean, even the locations in Vancouver and the things they built in studio were amazing. Like the Volturi layer is just... it's huge, it's massive, and it's it's great because we don't have to walk in as an actor into a green screen and then imagine it. It's there, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can just you're in there in a massive, huge hall with this big, great we're talking this grate in the middle where obviously the blood's supposed to drain out of the place, and it's just it's
what
great.
Kind of materials?
Yeah, most of it is wood, but
Styrofoam.
Just in styrofoam, but painted, like painstakingly hand painted to make it look. You walk up to it and you're kind of like, oh, that's cool marble, and you're like, oh, that's wood. So someone has actually sat there and just put the time in it. Magical. They're very cool sets.
Well, what was Italy like?
Italy was it was the biggest fantasy land I've ever been to. I've been to a lot. Italy was a small, rustic village which probably only has about 200 inhabitants, and it's about 1,000 years old. It hasn't got a commercial footprint, it hasn't been touched. I think the Italians are very guarded over that kind of history, which is wonderful. And I think the Summit had a lot of problems actually negotiating to get into that, to film in there. And then you have to imagine the amount of effort that was put in to accommodate this huge Hollywood blockbuster film coming into town. So you've probably got another 200 or 300 crew, security, behind the camera crew, caterers, etc. Then you have all the machinery and everything in that little space, and then you have 5,000 screening fans who come in and they breathe life into it, because these are the guys that sell the film and they're there to experience it firsthand, right at the source of everything. And they were wonderful, really well behaved, very, very loud, but very, very well behaved. And we walked in there as 6 actors, and we felt, I mean, personally, for someone who hasn't really done much acting before and just scored this role, it was just a complete baptism of fire and an experience that, you know, I felt totally.
A lot of fans in Italy?
I felt like royalty that week.
A lot of fans in Italy?
Yeah, I just went back to the Rome Film Festival actually, and there was a huge amount of residual support there for me, because it was me, Cameron Bright, and Jamie, and they're 2 other Volturi guys, but they weren't shooting in Montepulciano. I was, and I was. You know, I just had a lot of time to spend with the fans in Montepulciano, so both of us interacted all the time with fans. I mean, why not? They'd broken their piggy banks to come out, made a huge commitment. It was only right to give them something back. So yeah, when I went back to Rome, I did have an elevated sort of status there.
Did anything funny, crazy, or strange happen on any of the sets?
Crazy funny. Well, I mean, strange. You can just be in Italy and you're at this 1,000-year-old town, and then you sort of step back and you see this great architecture and it stood the test of time, and then all of a sudden you look down and you've got like 5,000 screaming fans and a big techno crane and a, you know, thousands of $1,000 camera sitting there. So it's kind of weird, surreal kind of area. But yeah, besides that, I mean, funny. I mean. The funniest thing I think was just splitting my pants a couple times on doing a stunt, and during the big fight scene I threw the stunt double into the stairs, and every single time I just split my pants right up. I did it like 3 times, just went through all the rest of my wardrobe and pants.
Did you do some of your own stunts? Or you had
I did all my own stunts.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Do you guys prefer to play dark, bad characters or characters who are good?
I like to play characters with depth. Doesn't matter whether, and I think it's almost like characters who are bad seem to have a little bit more depth about them. They've gone a longer journey to get to that bad side sometimes, because there is a real acceptance with being a bad guy. There's no bad guy out there who's like, I wish I was a good guy. You know, one day I really hope I'm good, because that's a crap bad guy. I think bad guys are guys who understand that they have this like social deficiency, and then they're just having fun with that, or they're just using it. Good guys are just there. Like, I'm a good guy. You know, you're born a good guy, and there's sometimes a lot less to deal with there. But you know, I like to think I've got a huge range as an actor, a really big range, and I look forward to exploring that on both sides of the good-bad divide.
Did you have to change the way you look in any way, such as like dyeing your hair or any kind of like special makeup or costume effects?
I mean, obviously for dyeing my hair, no. I went in there and they styled the hair I had at the time. But you know, you get to the costume. The costume designer was such a great lady, Tish. She did such a good job with this beautiful clothing. This Italian designer clothing that we got to wear. And then you get to the makeup, and the makeup ladies were such great women, and they did such a good job of just making us super pale. And then you get to the contact lenses that we got to wear, which are these hand painted, unbelievably cool contacts that as soon as you put in, you instantly feel sort of more like your character.
Did you have to? Did you find it difficult to play a vampire?
No, really no. I mean, it's actually a really easy role to play, especially as a Volturi. There's no conflict there. There's no obstacles there, because you are so elite. You're so powerful. You are living complete luxury. There's nowhere further to get to in life, really. apart from just to run around and have fun, because you are there and you're sat at the top. Do you know what I mean? And so therefore, you don't think about, oh, I'm playing a vampire. I'm playing a vampire. You think about what a vampire is